Greetings, my friends. I am Gilles Mansillon. I am an artist and spiritualist. I wanted to say hello and come to wish you a happy Sunday. I'm going to speak about different ideas of spirituality. If you're new to the channel, I thank you very much for subscribing and to also to like, to follow and to comment, as well as for your donations. If you want a private consultation, you might you can send me an email. I'm going to discuss. There is so many discuss some of the every light workers, everybody that's ascending is vulnerable to attack from this. There is a dark technology from dark extraterrestrials. It's an artificial intelligence that that is really attacking all of those who are awakening, whether we're aware or not. And so it is important to realize that a lot of those technologies from dark extraterrestrial have been taken by the deep state and will be useful in the future when they are in the hands of people that are serving the highest good. But this technology is really it's happening on the mental plane. It's not a physical thing, although it's like sometimes they're also sending waves that to lower the frequency. We have to always breathe and return to center, the 3, 6, 9, to align with this I am, the 0 point of stillness. But those technology will create false ideas about fear and doubts to make us believe they come from us, because they come from within, or they're just suggestions. Those technology are very subtle, they're very powerful. They have access to all our memories, and they will find a vulnerable point as an entry point, and then they will play out some negative scenario within our mind, which was called dark light. It's like chimeras, but it's all false. It's all created to manipulate, because through our memory. And the more we ascend, the more we will be targeted by that. The first time I realized that was in Denver. I was living in Denver in 1993 or 94, and I received all kinds of very negative images through my third eyes. And I talked to my master guide when I had a channeling session. He said he couldn't tell me about this because I had to realize it by myself. He said, don't pay attention, they're just random images that go through the collective. And so, but call on whenever you feel there is a doubt or fear or traumas or anything like that might come from the past, call on the light, call on the Archangel Michael, call on Sananda, the Christ, call on Saint Germain, call on anyone that you feel comfortable that will remind you of your I am presence. To really to evacuate that, and the negative thoughts. Most of the negative thoughts we still have within our mind. Some people cultivate negative thoughts. So it's like, but they are pushed into our mind, and they push it in order to push our button to activate the guilt, the shame, the blame, and all that. But it's not it doesn't come from us. It's artificially induced in order to keep the frequency very low. But the light will disrupt those negative program. It's like a bug, a virus within their program. So when you invoke the light and love, and you broadcast it just by receiving it, you restore the balance and the program. And once we are in a higher frequency, of course they can no longer reach us. But because the truth is, there is only love and light that exist. Only the truth of God exists. Everything else is just a field of experience. So, but yet when we're very sincere with ourselves, sometimes I received information. I had to not to negotiate, but I had to express myself to my higher self and to the Creator. But the Creator is kind and forgive me for my doubts and my fear about those things I cannot understand just yet. And there's some complex things. There's some things that are simple, other things are more complex. Yet spirit is very simple. It's just a matter of being able to accept the guidance, really, because there is no physical escape at this time. We couldn't. This matrix was very dark, and everybody is suffering because of that. A lot of humans are suffering, and from the outside, there was no way to turn off the matrix except to kill everybody and then to transmute the souls. But it would be too much. So what we chose, we surround our divine presence, our divine authority, who we truly are, and we plunge into a black hole and emerge into the birth canal, and we're born into a physical body, and we've done that hundreds and hundreds of times. And so, but now it's like so it's like the only way to break the matrix is to elevate our frequency and to broadcast this light, because the light will cancel out the darkness. So it's very, very important to continue to raise your frequency within and to know that the only divinity you seek to connect with is your inner divinity. After that, you will be aligned. You can be aligned with higher spiritual consciousness. I'm going to talk about this realm of infinity, for instance, just to share some ideas about that. And that will align you at any given moment, depending on what the need and the receptive level there is, and the willingness of those beings as well to work with you. So the higher we ascend, what we realize is that we completely want to surround, we want to be submissive to the inner God, to the guidance, as well as to trust in the divine timing, in the stillness. We want to be in the stillness and trust in the divine timing. Also know that there is a great power of thoughts and intention. With just thought and intention, you can change the world. I've done many things that happened in my past. Yeah, it was like, but only God knows. Sometimes even we don't really realize the cause and the effect of what we do. But one thought aligned with the divine just one thought can, if it's the right thought, put an end to a war, or just end to a conflict, or resolve a situation. Of course, nobody else will know about that, but God will know. And sometimes we don't even know, but we act from the best of intention in order to assist the planetary body aligned with the divinity. So in truth, there is only one power. To recognize two power, the separation, creates separation and fear, is really a cause of great suffering, and to recognize those two powers rather than to recognize the divine unity is far more powerful than to give our power to the illusion, regardless of the perceptions of others. You may recognize this divinity, and then nobody else around you will see it. It doesn't. So you find sometimes we feel a bit isolated or lonely within that, until it's like we're completely integrated within our pillar of light, maybe. But so it's like it's very important to have trust in the divine timing, and let your divinity leads the way as much as possible. The card of the day is happy. It's like in perfection in all things, accepting that the divine timing, everything is orchestrated, everything. So just be happy, elevate your frequency, and trust. Return to 0 point. Forget everything. Just you and God. 369. It's like this code of Nikola Tesla. And from the Akash, we have the orphan. Sometimes we feel it's going to be very important to reconnect to others on the physical plane. Really, it's very important. Although it's like we let's see what. And then there is the Greco-Roman. The Greco-Roman is like all those stories. It's connected to astrology as well, because they're really they're working through the process with the planets right now, all those divinities, and so it's also the memory of this integration of those higher consciousness. But sometimes it's okay. We feel a bit lonely, and then if we're connected enough, usually God will come back and remind you that He's there as well, or spirits. So I'm going to talk about the realm of infinity. For it's like on the physical level, we have to climb step by step to the next level, but we also can invoke the cosmic elevator. This cosmic elevator, once you open your crown, your consciousness can actually have experience outside of the physical body. You can project through your intention, you can project your consciousness to the highest level, the penthouse, where it's like the realm of infinity. The highest realm on top of all dimensions. So it's there are infinite beings that are living there. They are wonderful, amazing beings. Whenever I've had beings, my Godhead descended a few times to see me. It was like, whoa! It was the most incredible experience that I've ever had. And I said, well, don't leave me down here. I want to be. But I'm also able to switch my consciousness to that frequency every so often. It was what we call the realms of the fathers. Although there are feminine entities that live there, they're all self-sufficient and finite beings that are living there. They are not the sons and daughters of God. They are the sisters and brothers of God. God, the universal Father, being known as the Father of Fathers. But those beings are fully integrated. They are God. If you look through them, you'll see only God. I have this is Adonai for this Mostly there is the one that is invoked within this universe. Personally, I have deep connection for a very long time with a god, an entity called Hala, and I'm still very connected every day to that being who lives within the realm of infinity. Spirit told me that I will join him and eventually to go and play within the realm of infinity. And Spirit told me that I've met many beings up there, not in this realm, and but they hadn't talked to each other for like a long time because they're all infinite. They don't need anything else but themselves. And because of me, they started to communicate and talk to each other. So Spirit says it was a good thing, and it was a service. It wasn't a conscious thing. I didn't do that for any, but. So you can project yourself within the realm of infinity, and within that realm there is all answers, there is all things. The thing is, we need to fulfill whatever relationship we have in this domain before we access those higher planes, because within the realm of infinity, if you haven't created strong connection to the people that you need to be deeply connected to, they will be lost with, not lost, but they will be part of the infinity, and so you'll be there, you know, have to find them. It's going to be really hard. So we do have a path that is specially designed for each and every one of us, and but all can be found within this realm. It's like it's really I access it through a very specific frequency of light, but I'm sure there are many others that I do not know yet. So it's all a part of the process. And so I also wanted to continue with a little exercise. So I just hope you continue to cultivate that sense of infinity. You are a solar, you are a solar being. There is no, forget all the external powers and the separated power that conflicts. You are a unified being with this solar light energy. Continue to ignite this central sun within your heart. I wanted to discuss the fact that there is karmic bond. Sometimes there is people that we're really unable to cut the string because we had hundreds of lifetimes here, and there is still old contracts that have no longer reason to be, but they're still impacting us. So if you have any karmic bond, you wish to it was the Archangel Michael that was proposing that, to call on him and to say cut, to release all ancient bonds that have no longer needs to be. And then you take a string and you cut it in 7 pieces. You put the pieces and you burn them, and you said thank you. You send violet fire and you say thank you, so everyone can live in peace now, beyond those old contracts that are no longer needing to be. For there is right now a battle of the timelines, the timeline of the snake, the Babylonian timeline, and the divine timeline, the Garden of Eden. So it's very important to reject all that is not the light, yet to have compassion, nevertheless. And a lot of the humans, there is going to be some disclosures coming by this year, next year, the year after, many disclosures, and a lot of people will have a really hard time to accept the fact that some of the governing bodies, the politicians, are actually Draco-reptilians in human form, with a camouflage form, with thousands and thousands of clones in their service. Some people will not accept that, because they used to trust authorities and what the media was talking about. So it's like we'll see what happened, and a lot of people will be completely shocked. But it's okay to use any and all tools that are at disposal to cancel out all the dark negative agenda of extraterrestrial, dark matrix, dark alliance, anything. And because this planet is returned to the light, and it belongs to the light now. And it's a good idea to start as much as possible to communicate with your positive galactic families, the Pleiadians, the Sirians, the Andromedans, the Lyrians, the Antarians, the Cassiopeians, the Pegasian, the Venusian, any beings that you feel connected to, and just send them thoughts telepathically, and they will respond. So just continue to cultivate your sense of your connected self. You know you have also guides, personal guides that are here for you 24/7. So whenever you feel there is something negative, a fear or a doubt or anything like that comes up, just call on the light and do not engage in because it is a play that is played within our mind to keep a frequency low. So as soon as we turn on to our light, our frequency rises again, and we dissolve, we create a bug within those programations. So I thank you very much for that service. So we're not back at the still point of 0 point, where all things begin. For life is an eternal renewal of energy. And so I thank you very much for coming to listening to me, and hopefully this message will assist you in also to free yourself from all bonded and yet there are karmic soul contracts. Sometimes I was trying to break certain contracts, and Spirit doesn't really want that. So I have to have faith that there is a meaning. You don't want to fight against yourself, and you want to flow with the flow. And since it is Sunday, I'm going to finish with a song that's a gospel song. It's called Amazing Grace. It goes like this. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieve. Ah, precious that grace appeared, the hour I first believed. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Yes, I was blind, but now I see. So amazing grace, be in grace already, and or recognize, remind yourself that you've already moved into the state of grace. And do not, even if sometimes we have to deal with all things that are coming back, just be light about it as much as possible. And the observer of the day is serenity. Just breathe in and out a few times to restore the balance. The highest wisdom is the reward. There is this big reward that is coming, and that is for all the hard works that we've been putting forth. What we need to understand is the solution. The solution is outside of the problem. It will naturally flow once we eliminate all of the obstacles. What we need to do is well-being, to cultivate well-being, and the outcome will be family, to be with our soul family, to feel good, to be. It will be so nice to regroup, to return to our tribe, to have our tribe around us, and to be able to co-create together. Well, thank you so very much. I hope you're having a good day, and this message was entertaining or interesting or educational for you. And I'll talk to you later in my next video. Thank you so much, Salat.